Hey guys, how you doing? It's KJ, and this is Catching Up with KJ, episode number 84. Chill and chat tonight. We're just gonna chill and chat. And you may be new to these. Maybe you're a fairly new subscriber. Maybe you got into my work through my KJ's What Happened shows. And if you are one of those people, this is a totally different format. And I've been doing these for a few years. These Catching Up with KJ's. And I do different things every time. I've had tons of guests on. I've had individual guests. I've read from books. We've talked about all different kinds of subjects. So they're all kind of different. And if you're new to this, you should go back and listen to some of the old ones, but if you're interested. But anyway, tonight's a chill and chat. I've been on YouTube around 8 years now, and of course the channel's grown. It's still growing. I'm very, blessed with that. Very happy about that. I'm grateful to you guys for that. I'm at around 340,000 subs, but with that comes a lot of other things. Like way back many years ago, I used to be able to keep up with email and Facebook and comments and messages on YouTube and websites I'd run in the past. I have a new one now. And that's the thing. It was easier, but as time goes on, it gets really hard to stay in touch with you guys. And I know the nature of my work, a lot of people have questions, and then a lot of you are already wide awake and aware, and a lot of you have great things to bring up and subjects that are interesting. So it's basically what a chill and chat is, man. I'm just going to be going into the chat here in a second, saying hi to everybody. And anything you guys want to talk about, we can talk about different subjects, or if you have any questions for me, feel free to ask anything. Cool? Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and jump over here now into the chat and just see what's going on a little bit. Seen a lot of people, man. That's the other thing. I just can't keep up with you guys during my What Happened shows. Hey, Donnie Atwell, good to see you. Swampy Cree, what's up? I'm just kind of going through. I take my time with this. A chill and chat's it really is a chill and a chat. Ironic, but it goes at its own pace, and you'll see. Again, if you're new to this, I can bounce off all kinds of subjects. So. Who else we got? Tom Peters, what's up? Hey, Symbol Seeker, good to see you, man. Thanks for dropping by. See what else we got in here. Becky, hi, Becky. Ton Tab, Phoenix Cat. Scariest pellicula ever from Rib. What's a pellicula? Is that an eye? Jacob Tucker, what's going on, man? Brandy Labine, Mr. Overchkin, Midwestern Supernatural. Hey, what's up? It's good to see you. You're a longtime friend. Emma's here, one of my wonderful mods. Thanks, Emma, for being here. Enlightened Skeptic, another one, man. It's good to see you guys, man. Jadester, what's up, Jadester? CJ Live, Chris AM, thanks. Kanga Kong's here. Man, we got a great crowd, great crew. A lot of y'all been around for a long time. Logan's Ministries, hi. Hello, Denise. Mario, hi. Marisol, she says she's new. Well, welcome. Said any subjects y'all want to bring up, any weird news stories you've seen or anything mainstream you want to talk about, feel free to drop it in the chat. And like I said, any questions, if you have any questions. Nick Yu says, hi, nipple face macaroni sausages. Ron Laster, what's up, man? Good to see you, Ron. Rebel Reality Music, you're welcome. Bridget Guerra, good to see you. Yeah, she says, what do you think about the Pope saying there's no hell? That's already one of the stories I've pegged for my KJ's What Happened, which I'm moving to Sunday nights, by the way. I did my last one on Sunday. I asked for comments on who wants what, and it seems Sunday is the most popular. So I'm going to go ahead and, starting this week, I'm moving What Happened to Sunday evenings. I also didn't realize how many other live shows were going on Friday nights. Apparently there's a ton of them. So this might, give us kind of a quieter night to do it. And if you guys have other shows you like to watch, you can watch those and, whatever. But yeah, the Pope saying there's no hell. Well, I mean, nothing surprises me with this Pope. At this point, I'm convinced he's the false prophet, and I still keep an open mind, because I'm a human and I'm not right all the time. But He's definitely the most controversial pope ever. And no offense to the Catholics in the house, but it's just that's a really, really bad religion. Really, I'm kind of anti-religion in general, but big, pro-faith. Following Christ, accepting Christ as your Lord and Savior, reading the Bible for yourself, etc., etc., and really trying to live the way. But anyway, so religion's a different thing. So yeah, nothing surprises me with him. I mean, that's what he's there to do. I believe is just to be blasphemous and slanderous and everything else. He even a while back said that atheists have nothing to worry about because they're going to go to heaven too. I believe that's one of them. But yeah, that's that guy. Seeb, I don't know if I'm ever saying this right. Seeb Razib. I hope I said that right, man. Good to see you. You've been a longtime friend too. Hey Ace, Michael Johnson, what's up? James Ben Postal, how you doing? Rib says, someone help, I'm being targeted. Okay. Who's targeting you? And what are they doing, Rib? What are these people doing that are targeting you? Ace, how you doing? Good to see you, man. Still moving on down. Ryan Goff says, what is your opinion of Chabab? And I don't even know what Chabab is. Chabab? I'd never heard of that before. So if somebody can tell me what Chabab is, that'd be cool. And I'm sorry if I miss any questions or comments or something. This can go pretty fast sometimes. I think I can set it to slow mode somehow. Anyway, so I'm just going to kind of keep moving down. Cole Ford, how you doing? It says, what's your theory on the sudden anti-Russia propaganda that's everywhere now? I know, man. I've kind of talked about this in the past a bit, but it's just the narrative because they're going to have someone to blame the next 9/11 on, the next event, whatever's going to pop off here in America. And it looks like it'll probably be the atomic bomb near New York creating a tsunami that's going to wipe out New York City. A lot of people online talk about this. Many people online have dreams of this and visions and have been for many years. There's even the St. John's pillars there that are very prophetic. I featured in a lot of my videos. If you guys haven't seen it, you should go look it up real quick. St. John's pillars in New York City, and they literally have a tidal wave wiping out New York City and buses and bridges busting apart and everything. And the birthing of a demonic baby literally coming out of lady parts, we'll say, to keep it kid friendly. And, like the birthing of the Antichrist or the fifth age, the beginning of, maybe not a literal birthing of a baby, but, the metaphor's there. So anyway, it's interesting, man. So they're going to have someone to blame it on, man. And there's actually a couple of Russian vlogger type people that I follow on YouTube, and I have been for a long time. And they're just people that live there and talk about the culture and stuff. I do the same thing with Japan. I'm really interested in Japan, so I follow some people over there. And they'll just film the areas and talk about stuff. I like that. But I don't know, just the kind of people I've seen from Russia, just at least online, always just seem like us, like we're all kind of the same thing. And there's different governments in charge of all of us. And that's where the problems are, it seems. But the people are just the people. People are people. And people want to get along, and people want to be cool, and we all love each other, and et cetera, et cetera. We want to, but most of us do. But so yeah, I think that's all it is. They're setting up the narrative to blame whatever on Russia, and then that will pull Russia and everybody else into war. If they didn't do it, and America goes after them, we'll see. It'll be like I said, a second 9/11. The first 9/11. Wasn't what they told us. Most of us know that, Annie Freiberg House, hi, says Pellicula is a movie. Oh, okay, thanks. She says you're awesome. Thank you. What else we got here? Hi, Keenan Kapar, Capar. How are you? Still moving down. What else we got? Kevin Baisley, hi. Big Country, what's up? Keenan Summers. Still moving down. Ace Chaveria. Okay, I'll check that out sometime. But I really don't follow a lot of, quote, truth channels, I mean, I've been here, like I said, like 8 years on YouTube. I was here when there was no what they call a truth community now. There was 9/11 truth, and there was residual from that. but a lot of that had worn off. There were still pockets of it on YouTube you could find. And then the stuff I'm into has always been more like the symbols and the spiritual side of all this stuff. But there weren't many of us when I started. I've talked about this on some last shows, back in the day. But there was like 3 people that woke me up to all the symbols, and then I started doing my own thing. And one was called Dr. Freemason, the other one was Noriega, and the third guy was Farhan K 501. And Dr. Freemason's still around, but he's under a different name, and he doesn't do the kind of stuff he used to. But anyway, all 3 of these guys were real masters at breaking down, Illuminati symbolism and showing it. And anyway, those were the guys that I cut my teeth on their stuff, like I said, and it woke me up, and then I started doing my stuff. But they're not really around anymore. And like I said, there just wasn't. It was a different vibe. It really felt like the Wild West back then compared to what it is now, obviously. But so throughout the years, I saw this burgeoning, quote, truth community, and I don't like labels anyway. I'm definitely my own thing. I'm an individual, and I don't like really being labeled much of anything. So, and I'm very anti-groups and cliques and clubs. I'm not into that stuff either. So, and it's just been my experience, watching from the outside in, and watching as all this stuff has grown throughout the years, that, a lot of it's untrustworthy. Half the time people with the term truth in their channel name says anything but. A lot of times, there's so much division in the so-called truth community, and fighting and backbiting and attacking. And so, I was never really wanting to be a part of that thing, but yeah, because I'm talking about that because this guy Ace here was telling me about another truther channel I should go check out sometime. But like I said, I'm really more focused on just, I've got my own vision of stuff. So I watch a lot of other things, mainly news type, and then online news and stuff like that. And you see all the sources I use for the shows I do. So that's kind of where a lot of my focus is. And then a lot of my focus is on just finding random music on YouTube. It has nothing to do with the research or whatever, but I have to balance it all out. I'm like, music is really therapy for me. It's totally, it's really medicine, for my mind. So, and I've always been a big music geek. So I spend a lot of time just digging through music as well. So you'd probably be surprised. I don't go watch a whole lot of, other conspiracy, type things, because most of the stuff I find is just peppered throughout the news and stuff anyway, All right, so let's keep moving on here. Hey, Effie. Effie's here too. Good to see you. One of my mods. Yvonne Alexander. Great to see you, Yvonne. Thanks for being here. Let's see. Mike Wilbert says, roses are red, the sun is fake. F-U NASA. I've never heard that poem used in that way before, but I've definitely seen offshoots of it. So, points for originality. What else we got? Anna Miriam says, are you a Christian? Well, yeah, I just don't like even that term because, there's a difference between religion. Like Easter, I don't celebrate Easter. I'm going to go have lunch with my family, but that's about it. But because it's all pagan and started way back. They basically, well, there was also the Apocrypha. They removed a lot of books, the Vatican. They removed a lot of books from the Bible and changed some things, and they brought in some weird new rituals like Easter, and even the whole thing of putting Saturn's ring on someone's finger for a wedding and all this stuff. The pagan ritual that modern wedding ceremonies are. So, there's a difference. But yeah, I'd say I'm a Christian, but I always have to use a caveat with that. Like, then I have to break it down and be like, but I'm not like those Christians. Because a lot of people that, call themselves Christians are very wicked people. They're not nice, and they use it as a cover. It's very common. Or they're just very religious. There's a lot of dogma there. And, they're very judgmental, and they're more focused on the law than the grace. That's the big difference. Pharisees, you could say. There's a lot of Pharisees, modern day Pharisees. But yes, I love Jesus. I accepted Christ when I was 11 as my personal Lord and Savior, and it's been a wild ride ever since. And my relationship with our Heavenly Father has grown intensely. And that's where I get all this stuff. This is why I do what I do. I feel these are the gifts God gave me, and I'm using them the best I can. And I'm hoping I'm making a difference. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, and then Anna's asking what my religion is. Yeah, that's basically it. It's what they had before religion, back, where they called it just the way, following the ways of Christ, being like Christ, the best you can be. I mean, we're in a fallen state, and we're still going to sin and screw up, but you got to try. Hi, Chrissy. How you doing? And let's see, Mystery 13 says there is, and then all capital letters, no hell. So I think that's what they believe. What else we got? Bianca. Hi, Bianca. Allie Ashby's here. Nice to see you. Still scrolling down. Hope you guys are good, though. Thanks again for checking in tonight. We're just going to hang out and chat for a while like this. Like I said, bring up anything you want, any subjects, any questions, and we'll just kind of play it by ear like that, Swampy Cree talking about that when somebody cut me off. I don't want to start drama or anything. Swampy Cree's asking why somebody cut me off during a chat show I was on a while back. Oh, I don't know. I mean, I shouldn't have even really checked that out, but the person they were profiling, I had a history with online, which I never asked for. Him and another person hacked into some of my social media. I have a video on my channel about this, and you can look it up. And my buddy Jeff C. even grabbed a screenshot where that particular person on the show that night had admitted that they had done this to me. So that's why I got in the chat there, and I was like, to that person, why did you do that to me? I just asked. I was curious. And this person had been around for a while, but they left YouTube, I think, when the money ran out, but that's me. But they left YouTube a while back, and then I guess this is their coming back party or something or whatever. So that's all I did. And then from there, it's like the moderator was saying I'm a snake, and then it started getting dramatic. And yeah, KJ, you're a piece of trash, and there's more people jumping in doing that. And a lot of you were there too defending me, but I was like, okay, I'm out of here, because then it just turns into drama. I don't mean for it to be that way. Maybe I should have held my tongue, but what that person did was really rotten. So, well, that's it, man. I mean, no hard feelings or whatever. I'm over it. But yeah, so I figured that's the best way I can address that, Swampy, just trying to keep people out of it, not naming names or anything. What else we got here? Mr. Overchkin says, did you get your plaque for 100,000? Won't ask again. Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah, I got my plaque for 100,000. That was before I left for Costa Rica. For Central America, I got it. And I've had it ever since, and I'm proud of it. Even to this day, I'm proud of it. I mean, beyond all the crap that YouTube's become, I mean, it's not easy to get 100,000 subscribers, I mean, it took me like 3 years to get 100,000 subscribers. Again, remember, I started off many years ago when this stuff wasn't very popular. So you couldn't make an Illuminati video and expect to have over 100,000 views or something. I mean, it just didn't play out like that. It took a long time. And you can go back to the beginning, go to my channel, look at my videos, and see what I started off with and how it's changed. So it took me a long time. So I was proud when I got it, man. Yeah, I can't stand what YouTube's become. And, I've been peppering my work in other websites and stuff. And I have my own website as well. But, as long as it's still here, and as long as I can still broadcast here, I'm going to be here. As long as I can keep doing my videos and stuff. And, they keep changing the rules every week, though, so you never really know. So it's just, it can be a bit of a wild ride, but so far it seems like things are okay. They demonetize a lot of, they skip some videos, they let through some, they don't. It's whatever, but it's just kind of, you just got to work with the system, as it is for now, unfortunately, but that's what it is. But it's interesting that Facebook's getting in a lot of trouble right now, so who knows? Maybe this can start some kind of a trend. Maybe the government will try to break up Google or something, or try to come after YouTube. Who knows? I mean, I'm not banking on it, but who knows? Let's see. Philip Pringle, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Jamie in Louisiana, hi. Mystery 13 says, KG, I really hope you tell these folks there is no hell. Well, I can't say that. I have different views on it, but I can't say there is no hell. I mean, if you can tell us Mystery 13 in the Bible, where does it how do you know from the Bible there's no hell? I guess that's the question. I'd be interested to see your answer. We can go from there, but let us know here in the chat in the Bible where you know for sure from the Bible that there's no hell. I'd be interested in that, you know? Um, Mr. Mensa says, KG, any views on prophecy, rapture, tribulation starting soon? Yeah, man, that's another one. Obviously, it's something I think a lot about because you see the kind of work I do. But what's happened is throughout the years, as I've been doing this, is I've had to counterbalance a lot of things in my own personal life with this kind of knowledge or information or just putting my head into this stuff so much as I do. And I can't help myself. I love doing this. I'm fascinated with trying to figure things out. But at the same time, it can be a draw on you. It's you stare into the abyss too long, you become the abyss kind of a thing. So you have to have balance. And I've tried to, it's a big deal. Like I said, that you see my videos, you see what I see. And a lot of people think I'd be some weird troll, like living under a bridge and just constantly shaking in fear or something, but it's not like that. I mean, what this stuff has done for me is it's drawn me a lot closer to God. It's drawn me a lot closer to my relationship with our Heavenly Father and trust in Jesus and everything. I mean, that's what this is, because that's where I found my peace. Because I've tried everything else in the world to find my peace throughout the years, and nothing ever works like this kind of relationship we can have with our Heavenly Father. So I cling to that. So throughout the years, my relationship and my faith has become so much stronger because of this kind of information and knowledge. And now we're seeing it everywhere. I mean, the all-seeing eye, right? Like we see these kind of all these different symbols, those and others manifesting on all kinds of things. And that really started around 2012 or so is when it really started getting crazy and it started becoming more mainstream. And I just happened to be right along when it all came about. So that's where a lot of my work came from, was talking about all the stuff I was seeing. Um, and now it's everywhere, man. I just saw a thing that there's a company that's supporting this March for Our Lives thing, the anti-gun thing. And it's all their mittens with the all-seeing eye on them, the evil eye. And of course, they always have their own excuse. They go back to India and they're talking about the evil eye being protection and stuff. But with symbols, we go back way back to where they really originated from and what they really stand for. And so it's the all-seeing eye. It's the beast system, and we find it plastered all over these people now. They're literally begging the government to take away Americans' rights. They're begging the government to take full control and for us to give up our weapons because that would be a good idea, right? Well, some of these people seem to think so. But also what you're seeing, at least in my spirit, what it tells me when I see these, excuse me, these rallies and stuff is we're literally seeing the division between the wheat and the tares, the sheep and the goats. We're seeing it more and more. I did a video on this a few months ago called First the Statues, Then the Churches. Remember, they started pulling all the statues down, erasing history, literally. Because it was racist or whatever. So, this is the world we're in now, and this is what's happening. So we're starting to see more and more the dividing line between the light and the dark, So let's see what else we got. I'm going to keep moving on. Boop, 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 boom. Let's see. Autumn Kite, hi. Anna Miriam says, do you read the Bible? Yes. For a long time, I was reading it every morning, the first thing, and I've actually slacked off for the last few weeks. And it's funny you can ask that because I've been feeling really guilty about it. So anyway, I need to get back to it. But I'd worked myself into like a pattern where every morning, first thing I do is open it up, read a little bit, and then start my day. But something happened along the way, and I stopped doing that. But that's pretty recent. So yeah, I tried to. Let's see what else we got. Hi, PG. How you doing? Maurice Daniels. Hi. What's up? I'm still scrolling down, guys. Just chilling. This is a chill and a chat. We're taking our time. But thanks again for being here, man. This gives us a chance to talk a little bit. So I'm still just kind of reading comments as I go down. Wild Beast 101 says, can we please talk about school? Because it's killing me and not much people talk about it. What do you mean, Wild Beast? What do you want to talk about school? You say, can we please talk about school? Because it's killing me and not much people talk about it. But we'll talk about it. I'll keep scrolling down. Just go ahead and let us know what you want to talk about pertaining to school. Okay. Hi, Annie. What's up? Good to see you. Okay. Now I'm going to have to play a little catch up on the chat here. Give me a second. Okay. Again, if I miss anybody, you may need to post a question or a comment, just every few minutes, every 5 minutes, maybe put it up in case. I think I saw 80s Baby here. Good to see 80s Baby. Okay, so I'm moving back down again here. Philippe Oyuela, I think I got it. KJ, are you using Steemit already? It's a blockchain-based social networking that rewards you in cryptocurrencies. Yeah, I'm on Steemit. I'm on DTube. And what I was doing for a while, and I need to continue, is going back through my old catalog of videos, even my KJ Osborne channel, and slowly I'm incrementing him over there on DTube. I've got maybe a dozen videos up there now, but I've been trying to stay on top of that and just keep going to DTube just because I want my work to be spread out. I mean, I pray for the protection of my work no matter what, but it's still good just to get it out in other areas so other people can see this stuff. I make this so people can see it. I'm not just doing it for attention or anything like that. It's like I believe in this, so I want people to see it. And YouTube becoming so censorship happy lately, I mean, it's a good idea to start spreading out more. So yeah, I've got a KJ Osborne over on DTube. So thanks for asking. Let's see here. PG says Alex Jones is CIA. See what else we got down here. A lot of people are saying there is no hell, there is a hell. What is a lake of fire? There's a lot of interesting theories. A lake of fire is literally the sun. Have you ever heard that one before? Yeah, there's a lot of interesting research on that. Look up Lake of Fire, the sun, and see what you find out. See what you come up with. That's what I was gonna say. All right, still scrolling down here. Someone said the sun's fake. Yeah, that's another one I never understood. Some people believe in that. Some people think the sun's fake. I'm not one of them, but whatever. To each his own. Let's see. Christina Fout says, are you worried about your eye gate and ear gate, even to analyze? I think I know what you're saying. I get this very common question, actually. Like, am I concerned about what I take in? Not at all. There's plenty of scripture that backs up. We're protected through Christ from all this stuff. We have power over the demons. Did you know that? So I'm not scared, of any of this kind of stuff. And I'm not afraid it's going to, give me nightmares or haunt me. And I don't walk around being afraid of the shadow man, none of that stuff, man. I mean, the way I live is I walk and I think like a conqueror. I know that we conquer these things. I know we're stronger than these things. They feed off fear, demons and negative energy like that. It feeds off fear. So, I'm not afraid. Don't be afraid. Have faith in God, have faith through Christ that you're stronger than these things. You're more than these things. And when you see these symbols, when I make these videos, it's freeing your mind. Other people do it too. I'm not taking all the credit, but it frees your mind, because then you see the poison, you see the garbage, you see, oh, there's that stamp. I see them now. I understand their symbols. I know what they're trying to do. So it's important to do this kind of stuff. But no, I am never afraid, that it's going to mess with my mind or make me go evil or, possess me or anything. And I'm probably made this way because, some people know about my history, but I started off many years ago. I've always been a horror and science fiction fan. I went to film school. I wanted to go to Los Angeles. I moved to LA after New York City, but I wanted to go out there and be a filmmaker, and I wanted to make crazy horror films and science fiction films. And I wrote tons of these things. I've written TV shows, reality shows, horror movies. None of them have sold, but I've written tons of these things. So I have a background of this horror type stuff, I guess. So I'm just not sensitive, to this kind of thing, and that's where I find a lot of my information and, the videos I make is by watching some of the things I watch. But anyway, that's just me. That's how I roll with it. Let's see what else we got. Hi, Jimmy Bean. Good to see you. Let's see. Still moving down. PC Alvey says Jesus spoke more about hell and eternal damnation than heaven. See what else we go. Hostados Alcaraz says, when you die, you wait. Hell comes to you when you get risen up again and judged. When you die, your soul naps, waiting for the return. Hi, Mandy. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit ago, about the Pope saying that there's no hell. Vahid M says, watch this video, KJ. Excuse me. It covers no hell. Excuse me, I almost sneezed. It covers no hell in the Bible. Channel is called Unlearn the Lies. So there's a YouTube channel called Unlearn the Lies that's making videos saying there is no hell in the Bible. All right, I'll watch it sometime and see what they're saying. Thanks. Raha Scoff. Hey, KJ, what are your thoughts on the Black Panther movie? That's one of those situations where I saw somebody else's video and they were all my thoughts, before I could even try to make a video on it. And it's a YouTube channel called Faithful Barine. His name's Clay. He's actually a friend of mine. He does really cool work. And he did a video about it basically all being about Obama, the Antichrist and what's coming, the rise of the Antichrist being Obama. And everything I was seeing from him, I was just like, yeah. A lot of stuff there's things I hadn't thought about he's putting in there. And I was just, it's one of those things when I see somebody else do a video or something on a subject I'm interested in and they do it so good, I will never I just can't. I'm like, okay, I can't. Like, they got it. This person figured it out, And I get that way sometimes. It's just, I see someone, they do a great job on a subject I'm interested in before I do. I'm done. I'm like, okay, you win. I can't touch that one. You did great. So I can't remember the name of his video, but you can go to his YouTube channel. It's called Faithful Berean, Berean. And it's probably the last video he put up just a few weeks ago. You can check it out. But it's his take on the Black Panther, and it would be basically my take too. Everything he put in there. It really did seem to mirror the life of Obama in a lot of ways, also showing, this mock kind of death and then a resurrection and all this other stuff. It's very interesting. So that's what I'd say about Black Panther. So I'm still going to scroll down here some. Grab a little drink. I'm drinking some iced coffee tonight. I got Chubbs in kitty prison for now, but I'll probably do a video just for fun. A few friends have seen. I've made a few videos of Chubbs playing fetch. He loves fetch, and I've shown it to some friends. It's on my Facebook for KJ Osborne, but I think I'll do a new one and I'll just probably upload it to the main channel because a lot of people have asked about Chubbs. I appreciate that. I try not to let him know because I don't want him getting all cocky and stuff. You got to keep these pets in their place. I've always said that. Don't build up their ego. Okay. Make sure that, you would keep them dumb and fed. But all kidding aside, I'll probably do that just for fun because I love doing fetch with Chubbs, and he's a great little sidekick and best friend. So anyway, moving on down. Let's see what else we got here. Still moving down. Vasago, V3 Sago, Block Party Vintage. Hi, guys. How are you? Phoenix Cat. I think I said hi to you. See you. Still scrolling down. Been a lot of one thing I've noticed too, because I collect all kinds of news stories and whatnot, and I put these together for my news type show. But man, there are so many videos coming out just over the last week of people seeing these weird glows in the sky. And I did a recent video. I showed you all the purple in the sky. Now it's orange, and it's all around the world. People are seeing these weird orange glows late at night in different clouds, uh, over fields, that spread for like 100 acres, so there's not like lights from a city or anything. It's very interesting. And I did a video a while back questioning, are we possibly seeing, quote, war in the heavens? I don't know, man. I mean, there's a lot going on up in the skies here lately too. It's interesting. And just the way I naturally think and seeing the things I do in the world and the way it's all really getting set up. And America really is becoming much more communist really quickly, right? You get hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people marching around America right now, begging the government to take away our rights. It's unbelievable. It's like that scene in Star Wars where Natalie Portman, I can't remember what her character was, but the Empire basically says they're taking over all the communities and everything and joining it together in one. And all the communities are cheering it on. And she looks out there and says, so this is what the end of democracy looks like by the sound of applause or something like that. I know I'm paraphrasing, but basically saying that people are going to be cheering themselves as they lose their rights. And that's what we're seeing right now. It's very interesting. So I'm going to keep scrolling down here. What else we got? Any other little questions or anything? Comments? Subjects? Yeah, and starting April 1st, I think it starts April 1st, ironically enough, is when YouTube's implementing a brand new policy that has to do with channels that talk about GUNS. I know, I have to spell it out now. But anyway, those kind of channels are about to be under real serious attack, and it looks like that's starting on April 1st, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a naughty little wink wink, I guess, isn't it? April Fool's Day, but who knows? So I'm still reading through the comments. Logan's Ministries says, speaking of the all-seeing eye, what is your opinion on the so-called third eye? I've read all about it, seen everything about it. I've, the third eye, it does fall more into a lot of the times the New Age type movement. So I'm not real concerned about it or focused on it. Calcifying your gland, decalcifying your gland. I've talked about a lot of that stuff in the past too. But your pineal gland. It's interesting. The pineal gland looks like the third eye, right? It looks like the eye of Osiris or whatever. So, but I don't know. I don't put a whole lot of focus on it. I've seen people run with that and they take it into a lot of different directions. I've seen people in the past saying, well, we are the Illuminati, all of us, because we have the third eye, and blah, blah, blah. And it's just, I don't know. It can get crazy. But I guess that's it. I don't really have any strong opinions on it. It's a subject I've looked into. A lot of times people believe you're tapping into your, quote, third eye, but you need to do it through different hallucinogens and things like this. Eckhart Tolle has done a lot of writing on that. Jim Carrey's a big fan of his. I think Jim Carrey's been experimenting a lot lately with some hallucinogens. Seems like his whole personality has changed, Charity Jones, it's funny you mentioned that. She says, hey, KJ, can you do a symbolic breakdown of the film Annihilation? It's not going to be a whole video on Annihilation, but Annihilation, I just watched it a few days ago because so many of you told me to watch it. So I did. And it's interesting because there's elements of it that I'll be putting into a video here soon, like this week. Because it's all about something they're pushing a lot in entertainment lately is the evolution of humanity. and how humanity is going to evolve into something else. And I think it's all just kind of obviously a trap, but it's also a setup for people to accept the mark of the beast, because it's not just going to be a stamp on your hand. I do believe it's going to have something to do with transhumanism. Um, I've covered this forever. A lot of other people have too, but there's people who have come out and talked about this. Google, I can't remember the lady's name, but we had that Google video from a few years ago where she was talking about how it'll basically be like a tattoo on the back of your hand, and it'll, through this tattoo, through this chip, you'll be able to log into the internet. You'll be able to like kind of interface with it, like check your email and stuff like this. It's going to be crazy, man. I mean, they've got crazy plans. So there's this idea in so many movies and TV shows about people having superhero powers and special powers and evolving, and that's how I make my videos, and it's hard for me to put into words sometimes. That's why it takes me time to make these things. But I see that being a real common theme right now. So anyway, when I watched Annihilation, I was shaking my head like, yeah, there it is. There's more of it, That was a visually amazing movie. It's pretty good. I don't know. Smart science fiction. I'm kind of into killer robots, and killer aliens and stuff myself. I like real B movie type stuff. But yeah, it was interesting. But there was definitely hidden type messages there. Same thing with The Arrival, all this stuff. I talk a lot about the alien demon deception, and they're definitely setting everybody up for something. So let's see here what we got. Moving on down. What else we got? Phoenix Cat, she says, what do you think of the March for Life rally? Well, that's why, again, I'm going slow on this, and I already kind of covered what I think it is. It's blows my mind that there's, again, millions of people around America marching and kids walking out of school and all this, and they're like begging and pleading with the government to take away our rights. So, as I say, this is just, to me, it's another sign of the dividing line between the sheep and the goats, the wheat and the tares. We're seeing this stuff manifest more and more now. Know what I mean? Mr. Mensa, you're welcome. Still scrolling down here. I think on the next Catching Up with KJ, since it's been so long, I'm going to try to get Casey back on from Enter the Stars. We've chatted online a few times here just on videos, through our videos, but I need to Skype him, and I need to get in touch with Jeff C again too. It's been a long time. I'd like to, those are old school pals of mine. We used to do a lot of shows together, but I'd like to, I'd like to mix it up. So we'll do the chill and chat tonight. I'll maybe do some interviews or just hangouts like next time, have a few friends on, and we'll play with it. We'll bounce it around a little bit, We'll keep it interesting. I'm going to keep you guys on your toes. Still scrolling down here. I vape, by the way, so it's a noise in the background. That's what it is. Mark DeArch, Angel Harris says, do you know Emerald Dreamer, KJ? No, I don't. What is Emerald Dreamer? Is that a person? Is that a YouTube channel? Is it a movie? Is it a TV show? Is it a strain of some kind of weed that I've never heard of? I'm not sure. But let me know. Choose to know the truth. KJ, have you heard of Dr. Michael Heiser? The name sounds real familiar, but I can't put it to where I recognize the name. Can you maybe let us know in the chat here? A little lower. I'm clicking on the chat to go ahead and update it. So just give me a second. Okay, so let's see where we're at. Witnesses of Christ says, in all capital letters, because this means business. Are you prepared for Jesus Christ coming? I am. I'm doing everything I can. I'm not perfect. I've definitely worked through a lot of things, repented from a lot of things in my life, but I hang my hook on the grace of Christ. So I've done my part to that. I'm using the gifts and abilities the good Lord gave me, and I'm doing the best I can, trying to help people. And that's it, man. I think I'm good. I'm ready. I'm prepared. That's me. I try not to worry. I believe what I've read, and I believe in the grace of God. That's the whole reason Jesus did what he did, right? Let's see what else we got here. CJ Live says, KJ, did you ever do DMT? No, I didn't. I've never done DMT, but I've done salvia, and I couldn't even finish because, I don't know if you know what salvia is. Salvia, and I did this years ago. It's back when I lived in Los Angeles, but it looks kind of like weed, and you'd buy it when I got it, like in a little kind of tin type thing. You open up, you screw off the top, and then there's the stuff in there. And it only takes like one or two hits, and you literally go into kind of these weird convulsions. And it's the best way to describe it is it's like you take one or two hits of this stuff. It's like diving headfirst into the peak of like an acid trip, and it lasts, can last 5 to 15 minutes. So yeah, that's the closest I did to anything like that. I mean, I years ago did acid and all that and mushrooms, but I don't do any of that stuff now. That was all years ago. But that's it. I wouldn't recommend salvia. I don't know what we were thinking. Again, that was a long time ago, but it was pretty crazy. Like the first time I did it, I fell off my couch. I had a roommate. It's in Los Angeles. I had a lot of different roommates there. But one of them, this guy was Jeff, and I fell off my couch and I could barely talk. You're like going, oh. I mean, it's crazy, like seriously. And some of you who've done it know what I'm talking about. And when I looked up, I could see like it looked like a portal, like in my living room. And when Jeff walked out of his room, his head was perfectly lined up in the center of that portal. When he looked down at me and started laughing, he was like, "What are you doing?" And I was kind of pointing to the pipe, like, and he goes, "Oh, okay." And he started laughing, and then he just walked into his room to let me finish writing that out, But so yeah, that was again a long time ago. I don't do that stuff now, but you see stuff, man. I mean, the second time I done it, I was in my room. You're supposed to do it alone, and the right way to do it. It's not a party drug or something, and do it alone in silence, and then just kind of see what you experience. And it was not a good experience. Like I was rolling myself on my blankets as if I was a burrito because there was a huge shadow hand on my wall that I felt was kind of moving towards me. It was crazy, man. And I'm like rolling myself in my sheets, couldn't talk, and that was it. After that, I think I gave it to the neighbors, but I was like, I'm done with this stuff, It was a short ride, but I was done with it. Sheila Lindsay says, should someone with Freemasons in their family be reposting your videos? Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would hope so. But then here's what we get into with the Freemason thing. I mean, my grandfather was a Freemason from a small town in Oklahoma, and I'm not for the organization at all. But there are different levels. You can read Albert Pike. Is huge 33rd degree Freemason. Really looked up to in DC. They have a statue of him out there in Washington, DC, because they got the DC Masons and everything too. And the Masons really do basically run the world, right? From behind the curtain, along with other secret societies, all kind of working in unison and sometimes working against each other. But with the Freemasons, like even I was gonna say Manly P. Hall. I don't think he talked about this, but it was Albert Pike, I believe, said that, they're basically porch masons. They need these masons in these small towns to keep up good appearances. But it's just a lot of times they were church going guys too. They were doing this just to keep up appearances. It's just a little social club. And oh, hey, look at the Shriners. They got wacky hats and they're riding in small cars. Waka, 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 It's one of those kind of things. Meanwhile, at the top of the pyramid, like in the big industries in Hollywood and, Washington and other governments around the world, that's where the really bad stuff's happening. That's where these people are really running the world, right? Because a lot of times, and it's not Republican or Democrat, it's the ones you got to watch are the ones that are in clubs together, like the Trilateral Commission, this Council on Foreign Relations, stuff like that. That's how you've got the false left-right paradigm, but then all these people are in the same clubs that are all globalists, which are a lot of the Masonic connected stuff, a lot of the Illuminati type ideas and whatnot, but you'll find them there at the top of the pyramid, crossing party lines all the time, right? But we don't see that in the mainstream. So yes, I would hope, I hope my videos would wake some of these Masons up, but then, you never know. I don't know, man. I've seen good and bad on my videos talking about Freemasons. So, I never know. Pray about it, maybe be careful. I don't want you to have family drama, or I don't want you to be in any kind of trouble or danger. So, just be careful. What else we got down here? It's a lot. Thanks for your patience, guys. Once again, I'm glad you're here, man. It's been a while since we could do one of these. It's nice just to hang out with you guys and just chat with you for a while. And I like it. So thank you. I like you guys. You're all right. Here's a Rubus Halliday says, "Hey KJ, do you think this doofus hog kid is an actor?" Yeah, I mean, well, first off, the kid's like 23 years old, right? And he didn't even go to that high school, to Parkland. So there's already a lot of really weird things about him. And there's that picture they put up of him he recently did with the armband on, looking like a little Nazi youth. So his dad's FBI. I mean, kind of the list just goes on and on and on. So I don't trust him. He's annoying, I really am an empath. I'm an INFP. I'll do a video on all this stuff sometime, what all that stuff means. But so, it's like I've got these tentacles up that just I feel first on everything, people, situations, everything. I look at people, I just can start. I'm looking into their history and what drives them. Are they good? Are they bad? Are they this? Are they? I can't help it. It's just the way I think. But some people I look at and can hear them talk for just like a few seconds, and I just like feel just sick. And that's the way I feel when I see that little squirt on TV, that hog kid. I just get a real sick feeling in my stomach. Just something about that kid. So yeah, he's a tool. He's being used. It is what it is, unfortunately. I hate saying it is what it is, but it's so easy to say, It's one of those phrases. It's a nothing phrase. But anyway, I'm going to try not to say that, but it is what it is. There I go again. What am I going to do? All right, what else we got down here? Let's see. So I call the truth New Age. Wow. No, I don't call the truth New Age. The truth is the truth. And then different groups of people get a hold of it. And then they add their dogma and they change things around or whatever. I mean, it's like with astrology. Astrology, the symbols, they talk about things from the Bible, right? And the stars were there way before we were. So this was a design by God. So I've said this before in the past, that there's a lot of things about astrology that I look into and I think are interesting. But then on the other hand, it can be used as a form of necromancy in the wrong hands, or, used where people will worship it instead of following their heavenly Father or following Christ. They're worshiping astrology. They're worshiping arts, the dark arts or whatever, or they turned it into the dark arts. Everything in this world's co-opted by the enemy. And this world is run by the devil, right? And everything originally came from God. It's been distorted. An eye all by itself isn't really a bad thing, is it? I mean, in the beginning. But now when we see it in context with other things and situations, we know it means something bad. So there you go, Alex. 22. Sean Card says, KG, are you post-trib rapture or pre-wrath? I'm not into any of that. I do what the Bible tells me. And I pray that, that I'm worthy to escape these things, right? If that's what's going to take place, I pray that I get to go. But on the other hand, I just pray that the Lord guides me no matter what. I mean, if I'm still here, just please guide me, Father. What do you want me to do? Do you want me to try to help people, to try to save people, in a physical sense? I don't even know if we'll have access anymore to YouTube and internet at all at that point. When stuff really starts popping off, I mean, who knows what they're going to do, and I imagine a lot of times I've said this before, that's probably why YouTube's starting to do all this stuff now. It's almost like they're getting everything set up so that once the event happens, whether they realize they're doing it or not, I'm saying it's the system's being set up right now, it feels like, so that once the event happens, it'll be a total lockdown on open dialogue, right? They're going to shut everything down. So who knows? We'll see. Just kind of throwing it out there. But anyway, I don't get into those. Again, that's a very divisive subject. I see religious people love fighting about pre-trib, post-trib. making videos on each other. This guy's a false teacher because he says, just again, that's why I don't want to be in those groups, in those cliques, and those clubs, and these Christians fighting with each other over these kind of things. So I'm open to whatever the Lord does, and I'm cool with whatever, if I'm still here, my family's still here, then we'll all be together and we'll, try to survive the 3.5 years, we'll see. If I had nobody here, if they were gone and I was here alone, I would just drive myself to the camp and say, I'd get in line and say, take my head, I'm done, because I don't want to be here. If it's anything like what we think it's going to be like, it's not going to be cool, to say the least. So I don't know. Let's see. Questions says, question. Do you think Christians should do yoga? Oh gosh, I don't know. I'm not into it. I know some people are concerned about that because of the Kundalini spirit, things like that. I mean, I think that's bad if you're into yoga and if yoga is activating your Kundalini spirit. This is not a good thing, but it's the same thing with a lot of these prosperity type churches, or these churches, where they get real crazy and put their hands up, la, 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 and they're just getting crazy. And then they start rolling around on the ground and stuff. And these preachers get them all worked up. Like Benny Hinn's done this. It's the same thing happening in the yoga studio. If that's where these people are activating their Kundalini, is the same thing that's happening in a lot of these mega churches and these crazy churches. They're whipping these people up, and the Kundalini is kicking in, and they're basically releasing the serpent within, the serpent spirit within, that energy. So, that's my thoughts on that. Exercise, sure. I'm just not into the yoga thing, and I would have to look more into it. So you'll have to let me know. But I think that yoga is something that activates the Kundalini. I'm not entirely sure, but it could be. So let's see here. Still scrolling down. Hi, Julie. Julie Maggard says, what's your take on the rapture? I mean, the way I'm seeing it now is I feel like, again, I could be wrong, but just everything I see and have noticed and whatever else, I feel like once the event happens, like, the New York and looks like the Hoover Dam and a lot of other areas too, just probably going to be hit at the same time. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but whenever the event kicks off, I feel like that's when it's going to take place. That if there's going to be a harpazo or a catching away or whatever, that's when it'll happen. And perhaps that's why they'll bring in the alien thing. That'll be the explanation of where everybody went. They'll have full disclosure. The aliens will come down and they'll be working with whoever's in charge, probably Obama, whatever, and be like, they took all the bad people away so that they can have their new utopia. I mean, it's just theories. I see different possibilities. It's the good and the bad of thinking the way I do, because I can see both sides clearly, and it's hard for me to say one way or the other sometimes. That's why I just kind of live in a state of mind that's very zen, if you will. I'm always right here, right now. I try not to forecast the future, but that's kind of my take on it. We'll see what happens. I'm still scrolling down here. Rhonda Clark, yeah, Russia snow is orange. That's another one. I'm doing a little compilation video on the dust and stuff happening in space and even in the clouds, like some of these weird orange glowing clouds they've had lately too. There's a lot. There's so much. And this is, again, I'm into it. I'm into all of it. So my head, I get all over the place sometimes in the way I think. But I'm following that too. But yeah, there was a strange orange snow in a lot of parts of Europe, not just Russia, but there was a red mist. A lot of the places were reporting it was a red mist. They also, within a few days after that, they had and those of you who don't believe in space aren't going to like this. There's people who don't believe in space and think the Earth is flat. I get that. But a few days later, the ISS, the space station, they caught a weird red mist up in space. A few days ago, people are saying the ISS caught a huge red planet on camera. So perhaps a lot of people are thinking this is Nibiru with the red mist and all that. I don't know about Nibiru. Wormwood's in the Bible. I think it's wormwood before I'd say it's Nibiru. But wormwood is a destroyer in the Bible. And I think, if anything, that's what it could be. Maybe not, but we got the red mist all over these places in Europe, like 4 countries in Europe. Red Mist in Space. Um, there was a movie that came out a few years ago that was called oh man, I can't. Oh yeah, The Man from Uncle, and the theme song to that Man from Uncle was Red Mist. Like you can actually look up the album cover or something for, or the cover of the movie soundtrack, and it's Red Mist. It's The Man from Uncle. There's an all-seeing eye, and they have a part of they have like one of the Colosseums in Rome covered in a red mist. So it's interesting that even on that from a few years ago, they had this red mist kind of on this thing covering Europe with the all-seeing eye, and a few years later, we have the red mist covering parts of Europe. You know, I don't know. I mean, again, I'm just this is kind of inside the way I think. You can see where it gets a little scrambled, and it probably, you know, that's why it takes me a while to put videos together, because I see all these different angles and I got to pull it together to where it's cohesive and makes sense to me. But so that's kind of stuff I'm seeing there, you know, off the top of my head. I see a question here. Let's see. KJ, when you were out shopping, walking, whatever, have you noticed people seeming to keep eyes on you a bit more? Like perhaps demonic or at least spirit of this world versus Holy Spirit in you? It's really interesting. It's interesting you say that. Here's what I'll tell you. Something just happened a few days ago that's kind of like this. I mentioned on my last KJ's What Happened show that I was looking at maybe getting this kind of part-time gig thing. Sometimes when YouTube's being a little harsh, or I'm, you know, having trouble on Patreon or whatever. And again, those of you who support me on Patreon, thank you guys. You got to, you know, please understand it means a lot. It's keeping me moving on stuff. I don't live a lavish life. I just live to work basically to do this stuff. But occasionally I'll find like something part-time I can get into for a while. And if I can, I'll jump into it, you know, and just try to make a little extra money on the side while I'm still uploading and working on the site and stuff. So they had this film crew that came into my state because they're filming a reality TV show. And I found this on Craigslist. And some of you know I used to work in Hollywood, and I worked in reality TV. I worked on tons of TV shows as a production assistant, and I had a lot of different jobs like doing that, right? I was no big Hollywood player. I was just, you know, I was at the bottom of the rung, but I got to do some cool jobs in reality TV. So I figured, wow, that sounds really cool. This company's coming out here. I've got a background, haven't done it in years, but I figured, you know, why not? It's only a few weeks, so, you know, we'll do that. So I went and I met them. I met the people. They were taking interviews or whatever. And these are all these people from LA with this show. And yeah, man, and it's kind of that thing, you know, because I don't get out a whole lot out here anyway. I live kind of isolated as it is. And, you know, I just spend most of my time researching, writing, doing videos, and it's kind of how I live. But just had a kind of a bad vibe off the get-go. And then here's something that happens a lot with me, and I have to be careful. Some of you who followed me, again, you know a lot of my history, and I've done a lot of different stuff, you know, and I'm not one to brag or anything, but I mean, I've done a lot of different stuff. And I've found that when I've met new people, I have to really rein that stuff in, because it's a lot, you know, because these people were they were like, tell us about your history. What'd you do in California? How'd you get here and all that? So I'm telling him everything. As I'm telling him everything, I'm like, yeah, you know, I worked in Hollywood 5 years, moved to Austin, became a bounty hunter. Then I wanted to move into Costa Rica for 2 years. How'd you make an income? I was making YouTube videos. You know, then I came back here after a motorcycle accident, and I'm still doing YouTube videos and stuff. So after, you know, and then, oh, I was a medic in the military. Oh yeah, I also did law enforcement for 2 years in the military. You know, you start going through all this stuff, and I could just tell I was losing him. I saw it in their eyes. They started thinking this guy is delusional. You know, it was one of those things where he's like, this guy is either delusional, you know, or he's just a liar. You know, I was getting this feeling, and then I get that way. I overshare, you know, when I'm a little nervous, because I don't get out much, you know, and you get around people, and I don't know, I just probably overshare. I started feeling like, oh my God, I should shut my mouth, you know? And anyway, it just felt really weird to me. I mean, you know, the whole thing, being around these people, they felt incredibly judgmental. You know, I went back for a second interview, and I felt it was even worse. It was with other people from the team, and same thing. It's like they were, you know, everything I started talking about, they kept throwing questions at me like they didn't believe me and stuff or whatever. Because again, I've led just a pretty crazy life, man. Y'all know this, like crazy in a good way. I've done a lot of stuff, you know? So, but, you know, I mean, I guess you get it. I was driving home thinking, here's these strangers. And I'm like, I was a bounty hunter. I've been able to make a living off YouTube for like 5 years. Uh, I was a medic in the military. I moved to Central America by myself for 2 years. I mean, you start going down the line and people start looking at you like, okay, or maybe they're jealous. I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know what it is, but it just felt really awkward and weird. And as I was driving home, I was like, our energies, I know I sound like a hippie, but our energies totally weren't aligned. I didn't feel comfortable or connected with any of these people. I'm sure they think I'm a loon or something, so I never got a call back. I didn't get the gig. Not surprised, but I don't know, just that's kind of that feeling too, is you got to remember who you are, what we are in Christ and everything. And, we are strangers in a strange land. You got to remember that people are either operating through one of two spirits. That's what it is, And so, yeah, I do feel that, when I'm out. I didn't want to come back to America. It's no offense. I loved it in Central America because in America, I always felt like a weirdo anyway, or an alien, like I didn't fit in. And in, a foreign country where you don't speak the language, it's like it's allowed. I was like, well, now, it's okay that I'm weird and I don't fit in, I'm in a foreign country. It just made sense to me. I don't know. It felt more comfortable. So being back, I'm just basically a hermit, I mean, and in fact, just the other couple of days ago, I was looking at maybe just at cabins in the area just to get out, like go to another isolated place, I guess, but at least there's a new scenery there. Maybe do that for a couple of days or something. But yeah, I mean, I don't have an exciting life. Being back in America, it's been rough because that's where the YouTube apocalypse started when I came back. That's been a rocky, crazy year, but through that, I developed the website. I gained a lot of Patreon people. So thank you guys. It's been a battle, but then, like I said, it's just, I like being closer to my mom and dad. My mom and dad are here, and other than that, man, that's pretty much all I've got here. Seriously. Like, I got a few friends here and there, but if it was up to me, I'd be gone, somewhere else. I could live cheap. I don't need much, and just find some other country, some random country to go live in and just make it, just, you don't need a lot of money, just live, have enough for a little groceries and pay your basic bills and then just work. I could still be doing the same thing online I'm doing here, just in another place, but that's me. I'm a dreamer and a gypsy, to a fault. So anyway, I'm rambling. This is what I do. So I'm going to keep moving down here. What else we got? Hey, Kyle Wainick, good to see you, man. Thanks for being here, sir. Hi, movie gurus. What's your opinion on North Korea? I'm really interested in Kim Jong-un's relationship with Dennis Rodman. Like, I've covered that in a few videos. That's such an interesting situation there. I wonder if it has something to do with even like that movie, The Interview, that Seth Rogen and them did, and James Franco. And I wonder if that's part of this. I definitely think, I don't know, like Kim Jong-un like really loves this guy, apparently. I mean, I don't know in what way, but he's a big fan. And Rodman's got all-seeing eye tattoos, some other Illuminati type tattoos on him. And many years ago, before it was popular, he was pushing the transgender type agenda and the, gender fluidity by wearing dresses out in public. And, they put Rodman in a dress, they used him. He was a puppet for the system. So I'm more interested in what's going on between him and Kim Jong-un than anything as far as geopolitics or world politics goes. That's it. North Korea seems like obviously a horrible place. I did a video like 3 years ago. I think it's, I can't remember what it was called now. Anyway, but one of my videos I had actual clips from people that had escaped North Korea. And they were talking about people being so poor there, they saw people literally eating their own children and stuff. So yeah, and it was all legit type. This is from over there, like South Korea. People had made it over into South Korea, and it was a small team of people filming them as these people were explaining what was happening over there across the border. It just sounded like hell on earth, so it's crazy. All right, what else we got? Scrolling down here. Alex22 says meditation's how you open up Kundalini. Okay, thanks. Or are you talking about the third eye? I think maybe it's what you're talking about. Third eye. I never got into meditation. I don't know much about all that. It's really not one of my areas. I don't know much about all that, but I mean, if meditating's me laying in bed in silence, for like 10 minutes and just talking to God, I guess I meditate, but I don't know. I feel like I'm always kind of meditating. I'm just in my head. I'm a person that really lives in my head all the time, so I don't know. It's a great place to be. I enjoy it, you know. So let's see what else we got here. Hi, Vivian. Koo, how you doing? Shannon C says, question, wondering also about your opinion on the missing 411 cases and if this is the trade-off the government made with the fallen ones for technology. Excuse me. I've seen that theory. I have a video on my channel called People Are Disappearing to Thin Air, What's Happening? And that's like from 4 years ago. And that's one of my most popular videos. I think it's got over a few million views, I know. And it's a lot of clips about David Paulides is his name, that wrote about the missing 411 cases. He's been back in the news again lately just because there's so many of these cases. I think they even brought him in on a news show. He was talking about that guy that a few weeks ago was skiing in New York. Remember this? And then he disappeared for 5 days. No one knew where he was. He's with a group of people there. He disappeared, and they found him in Sacramento, California, on the other side of the country, still wearing all of his ski clothes and his goggles and walking around stupefied. So they brought Paulides in to ask him about that. So I saw a recent interview with him on that. But as far as, I don't know. I think it's a mix of stuff. I really think there's paranormal things out there that get people. I think there's obviously the alien type agenda, quote alien, whether it be them working with the government, but yeah, them snatching people and then creating hybrids. I mean, there's a lot of great study on that. So I'm into that. I can definitely believe that's a part of it too. And, who knows, man? I mean, there be monsters. Just last week, they had that little sea creature wash up on some beach, and this made like worldwide news. And it looks exactly like a Loch Ness monster, only it's like a miniature version. And as of now, it doesn't seem like it was faked or hoaxed or anything. Like, it's a real thing. It even showed it. Stomach was cut open, and there's some guts coming out of the thing. But point is, there be monsters. There are things in this world that some of us can't understand. We don't know what's going on. And then there's the spiritual stuff, like if you're not protected through Christ, then you could be in some trouble. Spirits can manifest into different forms and do different things. So I don't know. But yeah, thanks for bringing up that subject. Hi, Mike Lyons. Good to see you, man. And what else we got? Hi, Phoenix Cat. No, I didn't watch Roseanne. My parents did. They thought it was really funny. God bless them. I hate sitcoms. I can't do a sitcom. Sitcom is the worst kind of mind control. It's 22 minutes. In 22 minutes, they resolve these major life issues a lot of the time. They get 22 minutes to do with a 30-minute sitcom that's with commercials. And a lot of times it's these major life situations, but they're suddenly resolved just in a very short amount of time. And that creates a false sense in people without them even realizing it. If you're feeding your mind with sitcoms all the time, just so much garbage. I mean, I remember when I lived in Austin, Texas, one of the places I lived in there was a 5-bedroom house. And it was me in one room, and then there was different rooms. And we had an attached garage that had been turned into a band room and a bedroom. And everybody in the house was a musician except for me. Austin's a real musical city. Love Austin. Great place. I was there for a couple of years. So, and I consider myself, I guess, an artist or whatever also with the stuff I do. This is my art, and so it's kind of a cool situation we had at the house. But one thing is we didn't have as a television, and we were all cool with it. None of us wanted a TV. We just kind of hang out and talk with each other. The boys that were in the garage playing half the time anyway. It was pretty chill, But one time, one of our sheds we had in the backyard, I can't remember what we were doing out there, but we found an old TV. So we took it, we put it in the living room, and we figured, what the heck? So we kind of sat around a little bit and turned it on just to see if there's anything decent on. And the first thing that came on was this show about the geeks called something theory. Big Bang Theory. No, it wasn't Big Bang Theory. Sorry. It was that Charlie crap, I don't know, TV show. Oh, 3 men and a or 2 men, 2.5 men. That's it. 2.5 men. It came on. It was that Charlie Sheen show. Now, since the years have gone by, that show's won Emmys. Like it won major awards. Like this has been a really big deal, big thing in television. And it came on, and guys, we didn't make it maybe 3 minutes, and we turned it off. At least that show, it was horrible. Within 3 minutes, it was nothing but wiener jokes and fart jokes, and I think there was a pee pee joke in there too. And the canned laughter, the ha 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 ha, at every stupid comment, and all of us were just rolling our eyes. Oh, I can't do this. So I don't know, man. So I hate sitcoms. Always have, even before that. I just when I was little, there were probably a few I watched. I liked Happy Days when I was a little kid. And, I watched Little House on the Prairie, but that wasn't a sitcom. I loved Little House on the Prairie. That's old school show right there. But anyway, Roseanne, I didn't watch it. I know it's supposed to be about she's a Trump supporter, but I've seen people commenting about it, like on other videos and stuff, and they're saying that I guess there's a lot of like liberal kind of agenda on there, and I don't know. You tell me. I mean, again, I'm not into watching that kind of TV, but they're putting it out there like it's a Republican show or something. I just wonder how true that is. See what else we got here. Carrie Bird, can we touch on fallen angels, elongated skulls, giants, and Nephilim? Where did I just talk about that? Was that my newest? I talked a little bit about that in my newest video. It's hard for me to get into that subject because I have a different angle on all that stuff where I come from. So I'm not sure what you'd want to talk about with that, with the fallen angels and the elongated skulls. L.A. Marzulli, I believe you can check out L.A. Marzulli, and they recently did DNA tests on some of those elongated skulls, and it came out that they weren't human. So that's kind of the latest I know about that stuff. And check that out. What else we got here? Still scrolling down. Leela76, hi. She says, has anyone seen The Handmaid's Tale? Yeah, I'm going to tell you something interesting about Handmaid's Tale. Handmaid's Tale was originally a book, and they made it into a movie back in like the 70s or 80s, A Handmaid's Tale. What's interesting is if you look at the book and you also look at the movie they first made about it, the bad guys, if y'all don't know what Handmaid's Tale is, it's basically about a dystopian future, right? Like a New World Order type future, a near future where there's a group of people that basically run the government, right? And they run everything. And then it's like the rich and then there's the poor. There's no middle class. It's like you're either working for the system or you're being used by the system. And they have these women that they bring in, like the poor people. They'll get a bunch of women together. They put them in these groups. They turn them into these handmaids, which work exclusively for the rich people. And they also are used to have babies by the rich people. The rich people have sex with these women, and then they put out children because for whatever reason in this future, a lot of people have gone sterile. A lot of women can't have children, something. I can't remember all the details, but that's kind of the basic idea. Now, here's what's really interesting. So in the new version of A Handmaid's Tale, the bad guys are Christians. It's Christians who run everything. I need to make a bigger video on this because season 2 is coming out on A Handmaid's Tale. I saw that. I'll do a video on this sometime. It needs to be, people need to know this. It just goes to show you how the system is. But in the new version of Handmaid's Tale, the evil people who run everything are the Christians. In the book and in the first version, it was literally the Illuminati. Go back and look at the first movie, A Handmaid's Tale, and they literally have the eye and the pyramid on everything. The red, black, and white satanic colors. These people are the Illuminati that are in charge of everything. This is after war and everything else. This is who wins after war. It was the Illuminati running everything. But now in the new version, it's a bunch of Christians. So there's that on A Handmaid's Tale. I should do a video on that, I think. I'm still scrolling down here. ZRK1 says, address the black hole sun simulator. I'm not into any of that, man. I'm not into fake space, fake sun, flat earth, no satellites, no nukes. Hitler was a good guy. I'm not into any of these kinds of those theories. I'm not into everything, but so no offense, man, but I'm not into a black hole sun simulator. I don't even know what that would be. So maybe you can explain it to us. Hi, Angela. Angela This Feet. Interesting name. Angela This Feet says, love Black Child videos. So do I. I love Black Child, man. Black Matrix is his new channel. I worry about him, though, because they took him down for titles and stuff, I think, and he's putting up some of the same titles again, which I hope he doesn't get in trouble for. There's just words, unfortunately, on YouTube now we can't use unless you want to get your videos taken down or whatever. So I don't know. We'll see. Junebug says, let's talk about the 41818 voicemail. They are not human. Yeah, I talked about that on the last news show. There's a guy named Ty that was on Twitter. It seemed like just, I guess, an average Joe as far as I could tell. I don't know. But he wound up getting this random message, this code. And when they checked out the code, there was also some kind of, whatchamacallit? Oh, gosh, on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, there was a code, coordinates. They found coordinates matched up with the missing MH370 from many years ago with where this signal was coming from. And it was basically saying something like SOS, don't believe them, they are not human, or don't trust them, they are not human. I'm not sure, man. I'm still watching this one closely. I haven't really seen any updates on it, but it's worth looking into. I've seen some people saying it's all a hoax. I've seen some people saying that it's all a hoax, but I haven't seen any real follow-up on that one. But that was a really bizarre case, and it's fairly new. It just happened last week. I'll see if I find anything else on it, and I'll talk about it on the news show. Cool. Okay, Saul Ahab Jackson. Haha, nice. How are you? Let's see. Still scrolling down some. Red-Eyed Jedi, man, that's a great question. That's actually one of my newer videos I'm working on now. I just did a video on that subject a few months ago, and it was called They Are Teaching Us to Eat Each Other. He's asking, what are your thoughts with all the shows pushing cannibalism? I've got another one coming on that subject because, again, like you see it, right? It's everywhere, man. It's everywhere. That's what I was saying in that video I did a few months back. Look at this trend, right? It's one of those trends. And like everything else, man, if we really are living in end times, and if all this stuff is really close, we know there's a really horrible time coming on the face of this planet. 3.5 years with somebody, the Antichrist rule, the man of lawlessness, the son of perdition, in charge of everything. And people will be hunted. And perhaps this is all, you know what? Gosh, that's it. I should do a video on how they're preparing the world for that, like in that sense, because it's all of it. Walking Dead, all this stuff, man. I mean, all this stuff. And there's real life stories coming out. What's that guy's name, the famous atheist? He just came out a little while ago talking about how, eating human meat's not such a big deal. It shouldn't be stigmatized. So you see stuff like this coming out, man. So I'll do a video on it soon. I've actually been pulling pieces together. So that's why when I saw your question, I'm like, yeah, that's one I should make for sure. So thanks for bringing that up, Red-Eyed Jedi. Nice name, too. I like that. Red-Eyed Jedi. Let's see what else we got here. Still scrolling down. Opened my eyes. Hi, says, what do you think about the end times and how all this is playing by the book? It's all playing out by the Bible. You just saw that thing in Israel where they're taking the shekel and putting Trump on there with Cyrus, King Cyrus, and it has to do with the third temple. What else is really interesting is everything in the Illuminati card game is playing out too. It's creepy. Like, it is really creepy. I'll do that too. See, man, I need to do like an updated, I haven't seen anyone else do that yet, but show where we're at right now on the timeline of the Illuminati card game, because it's playing out as well. The Enough is Enough cards out there with Trump on it, right? But that's the one that has the a little paragraph saying something like, be careful because we can take you out any time with our snipers or something. So, and we know there's all that talk about somebody popping Trump off, right? It's been around ever since he got in office. So, but we're kind of in that area right now. So it's very interesting because the next few cards after, we're not too far behind, the event, and we're not too far behind the alien type thing, however they're going to play that. So it's interesting. PJ Millis says, KJ, will you be talking with L.A. Marzulli anytime soon? I hope so. I reached out to L.A. on my Facebook, and I haven't checked lately, but he didn't get back in touch. But I don't slight anybody for that because I'm really bad about doing that too. So, staying in touch. So we'll see. But I'd like to bring him on and do one of these shows with him. Still scrolling down here. I want to go and play catch up here real quick on the chat. And see. Hey, Jacob. Jacob Israel's here, friend of mine. Good to see you, Jacob. Check out Jacob's channel. He's a great watchman, Jacob Israel. Now let's see. I've met some great people on YouTube too, man, and become friends. Like we talk offline, and just like one of the most controversial friends I have is Jonathan Kleck, and I still have little groups of trolls that try to pull you down with that. Like on my last video, somebody wrote something like, KJ, I wonder if you're more than human sometimes or something, and that was cute. And then somebody underneath there said, yeah, like a demon, he's friends with Satanist Jonathan Kleck. When I see these people, I'm shaking my head. I've met Jonathan twice in my life. I met him because I was just as curious about his work as the rest of you. And I'd followed him now for years. And it took me a couple years before I could actually meet the guy, So, but I always kept up with his work online. I felt connected with what he was doing with his work online. And just like so many others, I'm like, how in the heck does this guy do this? How does he know? Is the Lord really working through him, or is he a bad guy? Or, what is it? I didn't know. I finally got to go meet him. I've been down there twice now in Texas, and I've hung out with him and stayed there with him. And, he's a great guy. That's all I can tell you. When I see people writing that stuff about him, I'm like, you don't know him. He's not a Satanist. He's not Illuminati. He's not a Freemason. He's a very tender heart. He's earnest. He's one of the only people I've met in my life that's truly trying to live by following the word of God. I mean, he's intense, man, in that way. And he's got a real gift, a real gift from the Lord for sure. But I went down there because I needed to know, and I walked away. Even when I was driving down there, I'm like, Lord, please show me the truth. Is this a good guy? Is he a bad guy? I didn't know. And I walked away with not only knowing he's a good guy, but he's a friend. Like, I care about Jonathan. I think he's a great guy. Doesn't mean I sign off on absolutely everything he ever says, but he has unlocked so much with the mysteries out there. It's just, you can't be denied. So, but even that, I'll defend my, I don't want to get into fights on YouTube over this stuff, but a lot of people really hate Jonathan, and a lot of them really try to come after me, and pull me in with that. And it's just, come on, people, really. But also, when people are over the target and delivering hardcore information, they're going to get attacked. So I think that's a part of it with him as well. But anyway, I'm rambling. I know. Boop, boop. See what else we got down here. Still scrolling down here. Pollywog says Nickelodeon kids show is nothing but brainwashing. I'm sure. No doubt. All right, guys. Hey, man, we've been going about an hour and a half. I think I'm going to go ahead and call it, man, for now. But you know what? This won't be the last time we do this. I know I didn't get to everybody's questions. I'm real sorry about that, man. We got a great crew watching tonight. I appreciate you guys. Got 670-something people listening. So I'm sorry I didn't get to everybody's questions or anything like that, but I'll tell you this. I'll promise you, man, we'll do another one of these early next week. Sunday night, I've got my KJ's What Happened coming up, and I got 2 videos to finish up over the next few days. I'm also going to start to work on that cannibalism video and all that stuff. But anyway, that's it, man. Yeah, I guess I'll let you go for now, guys. Sorry, once again, if I missed your question, but we'll do another one soon, okay? I need to get back into doing these along with my What's Happened shows so we can have these nights to chat. You got any questions you can ask, any topics you want to bring up, we'll talk about. I know it's a slower pace, but I like it. It's nice. I get to know you guys a little bit better, Anyway, man, that's it. I'll leave you with that, guys. Stay cool out there. We're living in crazy times, and don't forget to, have that peace that the Lord offers us as well. Have joy. Let's live, guys. Let's still be watchmen and watchwomen, but let's not get caught up in fear and all that stuff either. Okay. Anyway, God bless you guys. Okay. Thanks again. Thanks for my wonderful mods. I love you all. Take care.